Here we are. We're going to do some drainage work today. Rodelius, Rodonio. He doesn't do just mechanicking work. He's also a cocker. I don't know if you can see already what the issue is. So they're getting water in their basement. You notice, if you do notice, and if you don't notice, here's what's happening. Let me get my finger. So this downspout drains the water. You see the negative slope here. This all slopes back towards the house. So water comes out, runs right along this edge, goes down, soaks the footing, water gets in the basement. Worse than that, here in Kansas, this ground gets saturated in the fall, freezes, and then what ends up happening is this foundation pushes in. You notice that downspout? Look where it drains. Drains right into a hole, negative slope. We've got the same thing going on. See this hole? You can't hardly see it, but this here, this neighbor's yard, drains down, comes in here and sits along this whole edge, all along here. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna put window wells on. We've got 5 of them to do. We're gonna lift that air conditioner up, and then we're gonna build this soil all up all the way around this house. The only way we can build it up, people are gonna say, well, you can't build it up because there's not enough room right here. Well, there is enough room if you put window wells on. And I'll show you how we're going to do that in just a moment. Because of no higher than these window wells have to be, we went with an 18-inch galvanized steel window well. So what we're doing is the other side we brought 2 inches below the siding. So we basically took a level, we put it right under here like this, we're level. We mark our under edge. That's where the top of our window well goes on both sides. Okay? Now, we just dig these out a little bit. On this one here, you can see that we don't have to dig out very far because the ground is so low. So on some of them, where you have, if the ground was higher, we'd have to dig down more. You always want your bottom of your window well at least about 6 inches below, maybe a little bit more. And the reason you want that is if water gets down in there, it has a chance to, it has a place to fill and soak away. And we'll put gravel in the bottom of these window wells. So we're just gonna hold our edge here. Now we're kind of centered. Come my way just a little bit, right there. Now we're centered on the window. Now he's gonna drill. We're using cordless drills. Probably next time we'll use powered, won't we? Yep. Powered. And we're using what's called a hammer drill. So this drill can drill, or you can go to hammer. And what that means is it hammers when it drills. It's pretty simple. Gonna mark it first. Fill those in. Maybe. Oh yeah. It's already working better. Clean out that hole. Now I'm gonna lay a bead of pure silicone, 100% silicone.
Why do you do that?
Just to seal it up against the concrete, keeps a little bit of moisture out. Same thing over here. All right, now we'll hold this up there, and he's gonna run that. That's the nice thing about these anchors is you can just drill a hole. And then he's using an impact driver. There we go. Yep. That holds it. Now we'll finish drilling 2 more holes on each side. That pins it to the house. And then really and truthfully what ends up happening is these become pins that hold it against the house. Sometimes you do get settling, and these could settle and pull away, so the anchors help hold it against the house. But now we'll continue doing backfilling. We built this all up in comparison. If he can show the before shot, how much we put probably a foot of soil in here. Now we've tapered this away. So water runs out, his water comes here, it goes down and out the back. So what you do is, if you have a basement, for every foot, let's say from this point here to the basement floor is 6 feet, then what you should do is for every foot down, you should come out a foot with your proper slope. So, okay, so for every foot, there's an inch of slope. So if it's 6 feet from here to the floor, then what I do is it's 6 inches of slope. So if this is my level, which it is,
and I make it level, then I should have about 6 inches of slope in here where the water drains away. So we could pull a little bit, we can clean this off a little bit and make it more level too. When people dig down and they coat their walls or seal cracks, and then they still have negative slope, they're a waste of time. I have literally seen basements where you could stick your hand through the crack into the dirt, the crack is that big, and they're dry because they've got proper slope. Sealing the basement wall is a waste of money. Get your water away, unless you have groundwater issues, that's different. We're managing surface water. If you have groundwater issues where the ground's coming up from below, then you got to look into sumps or French drains around your house. We're controlling surface water today is what we're doing, not groundwater. Big difference between those two. There you go. Another tip from your Uncle Larry.
Good job, Chrissy.
So if you have a crawl space, people think, well, I have a crawl space, I don't need to have drainage because I don't have a basement. You want your crawl space to stay dry as well, because your footings will heave and settle. Spiders, I don't even have to crawl in this crawl space. If I open the hatch and it's full of spider webs, it's wet in there. It's either sewers broke, water line broke, or there's getting moisture. So those are the telltale signs, but you want your crawl space to stay dry. If you're on a slab house, same thing. What it'll end up happening is you'll get heaving in the corners or wherever it's wet. So you have to be careful. So even proper drainage on a slab house, but especially basements, they'll get water in them. And worse than that, the ground freezes, and then that's what fractures and breaks basement walls, and then we got to pin them.